where I've kind of reverted my approach. So what I tend to do is catch something in the daily news media, and I kind of move in an organic type of way, you could say. So catch something in the news, feel the relevance as far as sharing goes, and I begin my live stream. So I'm fully aware there's rarely going to be anybody tuning into these streams at the time, but they are going to be rendered at the end of the stream and uploaded for future viewing, like any other kind of YouTube video. Don't want to bore you with all of that production type stuff. Just to have you know, here we go, back with the CornerSpeak live streams. What's really caught my attention is something I heard Donald Trump saying some days ago, and I think it's very important. It was on the Kilmeade show, and it's to do with his plans for Gaza. And like many people, it kind of took me aback for a moment when he unveiled his intentions. Kind of had to ponder it for a while. But there's something he said in typical Trump style where the thought evolves, and that really, for me, added balance to the whole concept. If I get it in the right spot, you'll be able to hear what I'm talking about.
Where there's
really,
a two-state
this is really a low level.
There's no scenario where there's a two-state solution anymore. I know Mike Waltz, your national security advisor, says there's no way Hamas is in charge there. So this seems it seems like we're the ultimate impasse. Your idea of taking over Gaza, making it more international, wasn't necessarily well received by Jordan or Egypt. So what's next? Do you know?
Well, we pay Jordan and Egypt billions of dollars a year, and I was a little closely.
Let's take it from about here.
But I think really a lot of the people they have are in such bad shape. They're so violent and vicious. I think a lot of people, if you look, I think they're in really bad shape. Right. I really do. I think they're trying to give the best ones first, and if the best ones are the ones I'm saying, they're in really bad shape. And sometimes you have to make a decision. It's a decision that has to be made. It's a rough decision, but the scene yesterday was really terrible because you're talking about babies.
But Mr. President, there's no scenario where there's a two-state solution.
This is really a low level.
There's no scenario where there's a two-state solution anymore. I know Mike Waltz, your national security advisor, says.
Right, we're coming up to the section here where he kind of adds a little bit more light to, well, just say not so much adding light. He kind of shows a level of openness to, though his ideal idea scenario is to clear everybody out, which I don't know how that's going to be done, and take over the space and start rebuilding. Now he adds another level of openness, or you could say acceptance, to the point of view that the people may have to remain in place. Now that to me sounds a little bit more logical, not like the easiest way to work things, but not all good things come easily, but it sounds at least a little bit more reasonable as far as thinking is concerned.
No way Hamas is in charge there. So this seems it seems like we're the ultimate impasse. Your idea of taking over Gaza, making it more international, wasn't necessarily well received by Jordan or Egypt. So what's next? Do you know?
Well, we pay Jordan and Egypt billions of dollars a year, and I was a little surprised they'd say that, but they did. And I'll tell you, the way to do it is my plan. I think that's the plan that really works. But
eternity later,
I'm not forcing it.
Here we go.
I'm just going to sit back and recommend it, and then the U.S. would own the site. It'd be no Hamas, and there'd be development, and you start all over again with a clean plate.
Right.
Another way of doing it, but I don't think it would work, would be to do it with people there. But I just don't see that working. I mean,
nah, that's what caught my attention. Let me run it back again.
They did. And I'll tell you, the way to do it is my plan. I think that's the plan that really works, but I'm not forcing it. I'm just going to sit back and recommend it. And then the U.S. would own the site. It'd be owned no Hamas, and there'd be development, and you start all over again with a clean plate.
Right.
Another way of doing it, but I don't think it would work, would be to do it with people there. But I just don't see that working.
Difficult as it may sound, that's the realistic approach, I think. If it had to go that route, could be workable. Look, the people are there anyway. They've survived going to hell and back. Some would debate whether they actually ever left there. So if they're going to have the place we built, which is their land, built around them, how much more difficult would it be in comparison to being removed, potentially never to be allowed to return again?
I mean, it's been so many years, so many decades of killing on that site. That is one dangerous place, and Hamas would be there, I guess, depending on what happens over the next little while. But the question is, can you wipe them all out? You know, they're so interspersed among people, and it's certainly not an easy thing to do. But I liked my plan. I thought my plan was good. You get them out, you move them, you build a beautiful community and a permanent community.
You know, what I like about that point of view coming from Donald Trump is he likes to have his way. Sometimes it's his way or the highway. His way sometimes is the best solution on the table at the time. Now, what is positive is that even Donald Trump leaves a little leeway to variations on the theme, or the fact that his method might not be the one that is selected to be enacted. And another less achievable or less easily applied method might be the way they decide to go. So just leaving room to, somebody else's take being considered is probably as positive as it gets. Just want to take a moment to have a word from our sponsors, Small Debts. If you're UK based and you happen to have hassle getting your deposit back, if you've moved and you're trying to get your deposit back from your landlord or estate agent, if you've done work for people, as I've experienced on many occasions myself, doing gigs and events, you do the job, people seem to have a little kind of slowness in their drive to pay on time. Not always the case, fortunately. And sometimes you just get ripped off by scammers online and you want that money returned to you in a timely fashion. Small Debts, they have your corner, they know what they're doing, and they can help you out in that respect. Check it out.
Have you been unfairly charged or conned by a company? At Small Debts, no company is too big and no debt too small. Small Debts is here to help.
There you go. If you find yourself in that unfortunate situation and you're at a point of despair, there is somebody to look to who can kind of help you out there. Small Debts, their info is going to be in the description. Click the link, check them out. Now, let's get back to Donald Trump and his suggestion for solving this problem between the Palestinians and the Israelis vis-a-vis Gaza.
Community. And you then take the site, the Gaza Strip, you take Gaza, and it's really essentially leveled now. You don't have too much to do other than, remove debris. It's really that place is not livable.
Right.
And if you gave the people a choice between that and living in a nice community, I think I know where they'd go. But we'll see what happens. I thought it was great because the location is, it's a great location. I don't know why
it is a great
Israel
location.
ever gave that up. Why did they give it up? I guess
that's why for generations they'll give their last drop of blood to retain what they have left of their land. Look, I can't argue with that. It's what people have done throughout history, fought for the earth they believe is their home, where they lay their hat.
They look at us and say, why did you give up the Panama Canal, Brian? Right.
It's all connected. Ariel Sharon decided to do that.
You look down on a map, they have the whole ocean. And somebody from Israel, I guess, I can tell you who, but who's well known, but he decided to give it up.
Yeah,
It's one of the bad.
Wasn't it President Carter who gave up the Panama Canal? No, don't take my word for it. You might have to fact check that, but I do believe so.
Real estate deals. I see a lot of bad real estate deals. That's one of them right there.
So I'm going to have more about Ukraine. We have so much more to talk about the economy. We'll have that straight ahead. President saying whatever BB wants, he should go do. He's got the 2,000-pound bombs, and you have the horrible situation with the slow let go of all the hostages. You listen to the Brian Kilmeade Show, my interview with President Trump.
There you go. There you have it. That's the bit that caught my attention, caught my eye when I heard that alternative view solution to Trump's first draft of Gaza solution. And it kind of, to me, it sounded a little bit more realistic than what he was coming with to begin with. If the people have to remain in place, it might not be the perfect, pristine plan he first came up with. It will at least keep the peace. It will take away the risk of, the accusation of genocide coming into the mix if people have to be forcibly removed. American boots on the ground, it could remove that tricky scenario and allow the place to be rebuilt, which will have to be rebuilt one way or another. So if the people have to remain in situ while years of rebuilding takes place, how much worse off are they than they are now? So thought I had to share that comment Trump made that I think has been lost in the mix with so much being discussed, but he did put it out there. It's a pretty good interview, the Kilmeade Show. So for now, I'd just like to say, as usual, be good, be safe, be creative. If you can, you've been here with myself, Onyeredye, CornerSpeak. For now, we out.